Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to finally make a 3-inch mid pipe for the Forester, and we're going to replace an oil cooler. Alright, so I'm going to try to tighten up these two here, see if that changes anything, and then maybe get that one off. Put the drip tray under there. Movement. Yep. That was a lot actually. Hopefully that fixed that one. Oh, that's on really tight. What was I thinking? How am I going to fix this? Hopefully this fitting isn't stuffed. These fittings aren't cheap. Let's just say I checked today, and since I bought this, it's gone up 50%. That's massive. Alright, so I'm just trying another fitting on there, and it's tight on the thread and it's not seating, so definitely the male part of the fitting. However, I may have stuffed the 180. Alright guys, so using that fitting again, I've just put that on hand tight and it can go tight. So it looks like the fitting's good, which is great. So we have to get another oil cooler. Alright, got another bottle of argon, got a couple of other things coming for the welding, so we'll come back to that. Alright, so let's jack up the car, we'll get the mid pipe off and we'll bring it out the front here and we'll see what we need to do with the new 3-inch. Alright, I've got it jacked up, and the best thing is, all it is a V-band there, a V-band there, and the mount. Pretty easy. It should just fall out really. If I push it back one way or the other way, the other end will fall out. Yep. There we go. Easy. Alright, I don't know about you guys, but from here to there looks awfully straight. You gotta see this. This is 1 meter that I already had. This is the offcut that I already had. I actually had the length of the actual mid pipe. And then I had the diff back shorter so I could make this, and I got that. Alright, so what I think I might do is make the back section first from here to the mounts, and maybe put down the track. I might think about cutting that, putting V-band in, and then I can change this front section to either a resonator, muffler, or a megaphone, depending on what sound I want to get out of the car. Right, instead of cutting this off the mid pipe, I do have another one in the shed, so I'll go grab that and cut that off tomorrow and tack on the V-bands to the back. So we really got to focus on landing that mounting point in the right spot. So I'll bolt it up to the back, mount that, and then we can work out what to do with the front section. should be able to get this up onto the diff back. This is actually a different female. Look, female one. It's the wider one. So had to double check with that, which is good. And we'll get this up. See how close it is to that rubber mount. You can see where it was actually touching. And yeah, well, it's getting late. I can't do any cutting. But we'll go fit this up onto the Foz. Alright, so I ended up swapping things around. So I'll put the 1 meter length on the front. It's actually both of the V-bands, big ones, and my new ones don't match. So I'm going to either cut that one off or the one off here. Now I need to get the front one out because there's a couple of leaks. So I might cut the one off the front because I think yeah, I'll cut that one off, because if we're going to be replacing any of the front section, we're going to be using the new one, so we want them to match. So from the back to the mount here will always stay the same. Yeah, so as you can see, I've got a bit of a downward slope here. So if we go straight from here to here, it'll be flat, and then we can join here and go up a bit. But as you can see here, we're sitting too low. That's as high as it can go. I want to drop down just a little bit, or it'll probably be knocking on that center carrier bearing. Drop it down just a little bit. Cut it probably 4 inches in front of that mount. Have a good length that we can put something, change things over. Alright, I've got the other mid pipe that was in the shed, so I'm going to cut that off, steal that. So what I'm going to do is get the front pipe, weld this one on, so then we can still use this if we need to. Then I'll put that on the new mid pipe. These will be if I need to, well, when I do that section. And then at the back we have the one that's already on the other straight pipe. Right, so I've got to get the back side of the dump pipe off. Alright, I've got the back section of the down pipe, the dump pipe off. I did just go over this little pinhole that I had here. You can see where it was dribbling out. And I did a couple of welds on here. I was going to take the clamp off, but I haven't made any gussets up yet to keep the strength there, so we'll just keep it like that for now. And when I make some gussets up for it, we'll get it off again. It's pretty easy to get off and do that. I've got to go get the saw and chop off this V-band and put on the new one. Alright, about to cut the V-band off. Should take all of the other old weld off. Should have a good clean start. Alright, let's see how I go cleaning it up. Alicia. Alright, let's get the drill in there with the carbide bit. Even the deep burrer might work. You can get that out. I'll try the deep burrer first. A bit tough on that bit. Yeah. Get the rest of it off. Well, that's annoying. It doesn't go inside that lip when it should. It's going to be a little bit harder, but easy enough. Alright, I've got this V-band tacked onto the cap. So let's get this back on the car and then we'll sort out the mid-pipe. Alright guys, I've got a little bit left. So I'm using these 3D printed pie cuts that I did on my 3D printer. So we need that plus an extra straight of 18 millimeters. We should be able to fill that gap. Alright, I think I was overthinking it. I did have a piece of pie sitting around that's actually the same as these plastic ones. So all I need to do is cut out an 18 millimeter straight from here, tack it on here, and then we're good. Because 15 degrees will be too out of shape to weld correctly onto a round pipe. So all good. I got it sorted. One more cut, a few more tacks, and we should be good. Alright guys, nearly there. We've tacked up the mid pipe. I'm just putting on the mount now. Then we'll get it back on. Make sure the rear tailpipe is where I want it as well. Then we'll fully weld this up. Alright, exhaust is all fitted up. Still looking pretty good. Happy with that. Alright, let's get the mid pipe off and fully weld it. Alright, we have a lot less welds than normal, so this shouldn't take long. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and to finish off them. So probably maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes, depending on how awkward this is to weld. Alright guys, all of the welding is done. I'm going to leave those V-bands on there until it cools down. So I've got to head out to Sun's basketball, do that, come back later tonight and fit that, and then we'll fit the oil cooler, and we should be right to get it running again. Alright guys, about 7 hours later, nice and cool. So let's get these V-bands off and get this back onto the Forester. Alright, I was just putting the mid pipe on and then I realised that I hadn't finished welded the dump pipe, so I've got to get that off and weld up the V-band on that, and then we're done. Alright, finished the weld up. This section here was my last and probably my best bead of the day. Pretty happy with that one. Alright guys, after 15 years I've finally made my own custom 3-inch exhaust all the way through. Alright guys, now that the exhaust is done, let's move on to the oil cooler. So let's get into it. Alright, so here is the replacement oil cooler. It looks like it's the same size, but it's actually less rows. So the fins are bigger. This is 10, that's 15. But looking at the actual size, about the same. It should be a direct replacement, which is good. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do here is actually take it off its mounts and put the new one on, and then I'll swap the lines over. Alright, I'm just going to get the intercooler pipe off from here and up in the guard, just to make everything a lot easier. All swapped over. So tomorrow I'll start the car up, let it warm up, get to hear how it sounds with the 3-inch, make sure we haven't got any leaks, and then we can get this thing out of the garage and really give it a good clean up. Alright, cooler pipe is back on. I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep very good tonight. So excited to hear how this new exhaust sounds. Alright guys, it's the next day, so let's get it started up. Make sure we're not leaking any oil, and we'll get to hear the new exhaust. Alright, at the moment the oil's good, but once the thermostatic sandwich plate opens up, we'll lose some oil into the cooler, so we'll have to refill it. Alright, my laptop is flat, so we're charging that. Let's see if we can get it started. I'm struggling a little bit. Well, we haven't had any oil come out of here yet. That's good. Alright, we've got another issue, but looks like we're good here. I'll leave the front bumper off. I'll do a smoke, I'll do a leak test next with a little smoke machine I got. Yeah, exhaust is done. The O2 sensor is in. It seems like it only runs for a certain time, so it's definitely something in the tune that I can probably play with. But I can't because the computer's flat. Alright, something definitely is timing out in the ECU, and it's just cutting it off. Very strange. Thanks for watching guys, catch you next time when we work on this, hopefully get it out on the street. Thanks for watching, bye.